What's up everyone, welcome back to another Draconic Sports video. In today's video, we are going to be discussing the NBA playoff brackets and who we think is going to win and who we think is going to lose and who we think might upset the competition, because there are a lot of interesting matchups. First round matchups, but also realistic future matchups that could happen in this playoffs, and we're really excited to see, who ends up working out and who ends up going home early, and really excited to see what you guys think also, so make sure to comment down below what your guys' thoughts are. We'll be going through this brackets together, me and Aqua, and then at the end, Aqua will share his bracket that he already made, and so I'll be giving most of my opinions in this first part, and then Aqua will give his opinions at the end, because he already filled out his own brackets, and yeah, make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already, as it helps out the channel a ton, and we'd really appreciate it, and make sure to comment down below who you think is going to win tonight's game, the Warriors or the Grizzlies, and the Hawks or the Magic. Anyways, yeah, without further ado, let's just get right into it.
Also, make sure to like this video if you really want more, or comment down below if you want more NBA content, even though I know it's near the end of the season at this point.
Alright, so first up, we're going to start with the East, because this is obviously the easier side of the NBA, the easier conference, and we're going to go down, starting at the top. We have the Cavaliers versus to be determined, but it's, either going to be the Bulls or the Heat, and so who's going to win the play-in game between the Bulls and the Heat on Wednesday? That's a great question. I would probably personally pick the Bulls. They're just a lot better, and they're just way hotter than the Heat are, which is ironic because they're called the Heat, but the Heat are just not good enough. They have, really, realistically, like two good players. Everybody else is really a role player, and they just don't have enough firepower to take out the Bulls. And the Bulls play decent defense along with just all-around great scoring, which is surprising. The Bulls are definitely a surprise towards the end of the season, how good they got. But, I mean, if the Bulls do win and they go against the Cavs, that's pretty easy. Cavs are probably going to win. Maybe the Bulls take one game, but most likely the Bulls are going to get swept. But, it'd be cool to see the Bulls, in the playoffs again, because it feels like it's been forever. I think it's only been like 3 years, but the Bulls have not been good recently. So cool to see them have a little bit of a run at the end of the season. But yeah, obviously going to get ended early by the Cavs. Next up, we have the Pacers versus the Bucks. This is definitely one of the more interesting series. It's really close. Well, it's not really close if Dame doesn't play. Dame supposedly might play. If he's going to play, he might play like the third, probably most likely the fourth game of the series. So, like, the Bucks might actually get swept before he ends up playing. I don't think that's going to happen. I think Giannis, just because he's Giannis and he's the best player in the series by far, I think he kind of has to, hold up the fact that he's a top 3 player in the world and, at least win one game without Dame. So, I would say the Pacers probably win in 5. If Dame comes back before, like, if he comes back in game 3 or 4, I could see the Bucks prolonging it to 6. If it goes to 7, that'd be a really good series, but I don't see it. I think the Pacers just wouldn't let it go to 7. The Pacers beat them last year, and last year they didn't have Giannis. They had Chris Middleton, who actually dropped a 40-piece in like one of the games, and Dame, who also played really well, but was also injured. So like, maybe the Bucks actually do take him to a game 7. But I'm gonna pick the Pacers just because it makes more sense. The Bucks have just had too many weaknesses, and their role players are just not good. Like, objectively, they're just not better than the Pacers' role players. And the Pacers have some of the best role players in the league when you look at their roster construction, even though they don't have that much star power. Because Siakam and Halliburton will only get you so far at the end of the day, but yeah, I'm going to go with the Pacers, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Bucks, take it to 7. Next up, we have the Knicks versus the Pistons, and I would argue it's either this one or another series that we're going to get to later. That's the closest one in round 1. I mean, the Knicks are not that good. It's really kind of annoying to see the fact that the Knicks are so bad, even though everybody hypes them up to be so good. They're just not good. Their starting 5 is really good, but they don't play great defense. Their bench isn't great. Their coach runs their players into the ground. overall, I do like the Knicks roster. I just don't like the fact that I don't like what I've seen from their roster, but on paper I like it. The Pistons, on the other hand, I don't like their roster on paper in the sense of like, oh, I would pick that roster if I was, to be a fan or a coach or a player. But in real life, like the Pistons actually have a really solid roster. Cade is playing out of his mind. Malik Beasley, one of the best six-man in the league. Jaden Duran, I think is how you pronounce his last name. He is really solid. Who else? Asar Thompson, he's great role player. Tim Hardaway, Tobias Harris, all great. Jaden Ivey, if he comes back, if Jaden Ivey comes back in the series, I would say Pistons in like 5. I actually think the Pistons could win this in 5. It's probably gonna go to 6 games, maybe even 7. Actually, no, I'm gonna say this series goes to 7. I think the Knicks' star power on offense just kind of forces the Pistons to lose at least 3. So I'd say 7, but I would not be surprised if the Pistons ended it early in 5 or 6 games. But I would like to see this series go to 7 just because it's already really close, and to see it go down to the last game would be sick. But I would pick the Pistons in this series, but it'd be really close. You would hope the Knicks would win as the 3rd seed, but I don't know at the end of the day. I'd pick the Pistons. Next up, we have the Celtics versus either Orlando or Atlanta. Obviously the Celtics, but maybe Orlando or Atlanta steals 1 game because the Hawks did play them last year and steal 1 game, so that could happen, but yeah, whatever. Next up, we have the second round versus the Pacers and the Cavs. It's going to be close. It's probably going to go to 6. I think the Pacers have really good offense, and their defense isn't terrible, but it's not great. But the Cavs are the 1st seed, so obviously got to go the Cavs. They just have better players. They just have better rotational guys too, even though the Pacers have some really solid rotational guys. The Cavs got DeAndre Hunter, probably the 6th man of the year. They got Ty Jerome, great 3-point shooter, kind of just balling recently. Who else they have? They have Isaiah Okoro, he's, pretty decent. They have, I don't even know, actually. They don't have like one of the best benches, but they just have really solid guys that can pick up where there's starting 5, which is one of the best starting 5s in the league, where they left off, so it just makes them an all-around solid team. Pistons versus Celtics down here, really hard. No, it's not. I'm sorry, Pistons. You guys could probably win. I don't even know if they would win 1 game, actually. The Celtics are probably that much better.
This season. You can't say we can't beat them at all.
But I don't know in the playoffs. If everybody's healthy, like if Porzingis or Holiday or White don't get injured here, I feel like a fully healthy Celtics team sweeps the Pistons, sadly. I want them to win 1 game, but I don't know if they could. Anyways, next up, we're going to the Western Conference over on the left here. And we'll start at the bottom, actually. Change it up a little bit. We got the Rockets versus Golden State or Memphis. Obviously, I think Golden State's going to win the Memphis game, so I would probably choose Golden State against the Rockets, to be honest. I don't think the Rockets, even though they have really good, young players and they have a really solid all-around roster, I just don't see how the trio of Draymond, Jimmy, and Curry don't beat the Rockets in, 6. It's probably going to go to 7, to be honest. Recently, Golden State has not been great in, closing out games. Hence the fact that they lost to the Clippers last night or the other night. And so, yeah, I would say Golden State, but in, 7. It'd be really close. Next up, we have the Lakers and Timberwolves. This one also close, but again, I just don't I would go the Lakers just because I don't like the matchup defensively for the Timberwolves. I mean, who's guarding Luka? If it's Anthony Edwards, I mean, good luck, because, Ant's going to get exposed. I don't know what to tell you. It's Luka Doncic. What are you supposed to do? Who's guarding LeBron? If it's Julius Randle, LeBron's going to give you 35 at least on one of the nights, because Julius Randle is not guarding LeBron on a nightly basis. Rudy Gobert, I would say, would lock down Jackson Hayes and whoever else they put out there as a big man, like Rui or whatever. So, Yeah, the Lakers just have a better team. Austin Reeves could go off for like a 40 piece. I could see that in this series, just because of the way he's been trending. And yeah, the Lakers just have better offense and just better defense than the Timberwolves at the end of the day. But it's probably going to go to 6 games, so it'll be a solid series. Next up, we have the Nuggets and Clippers. I would say if Mike Malone didn't get fired, this would be the closest series. I would say the Knicks versus Pistons is probably closer, but this one's probably a really good second best first round series. And I would give it to the Clippers, honestly, at this point in the season. They didn't have their head coach fired. Their head coach is one of the best in the league. They have one of the best, ball handlers and just all around like assisting players in James Harden. They have one of the best playoff performers in Kawhi Leonard, even though he's probably going to get injured, which I hope doesn't happen because playoff Kawhi is insane to watch. And they have really good role players in Chris Dunn, Zubats. They got Norman Powell, who's not even a role player, really. He's like their third star at this point. He's averaging like 21 a game. He'll probably go off for like a 30 piece, which will be cool to see. Who else they got? They have, why am I forgetting? I'm forgetting someone obvious' name. I don't know why. But they have good... Oh, Derek Jones, he's good. They have a few other guys that I probably can't think of their names right now. But they have a solid roster that could probably just beat the Nuggets, just because the Nuggets role players have not been playing good. I mean, Jamal Murray, Michael Porter Jr., and Aaron Gordon have not been their best this season. And even though Jokic is probably MVP, or he's my MVP at least, I don't think he's beating the Clippers single-handedly, sadly. So give me the Clippers in dude, do I say 5? No. Give me the Clippers in 6. I was gonna say 7, but I don't think the Clippers would let the Nuggets take it to a game 7. I think Kawhi, if he doesn't get injured, which is a big if, but I'm gonna assume he doesn't get injured, I don't think Kawhi will let them go till 7. So I'm gonna say Clippers in 6. Thunder, whoever they beat is obviously the Thunder. I think it's the Kings or the Mavs. I'm going to pick the Mavs because if AD's healthy, he's just going to carry the Mavs to the win. But no, AD's not good enough to carry the Mavs to a win against the Thunder in a series. So the Mavs are going to get, absolutely destroyed. We'll start from the top here. Thunder, Clippers. I could see it going to 6, but I would pick the Thunder probably in 5. I don't know. They just probably have a better team than the Clippers. I mean, if Kawhi is playing like 2019 Kawhi, which was a while ago, to be fair, but if Kawhi is playing out of his mind, maybe 7, but probably the Thunder finish him off in like 5. It's probably going to be a pretty simple win, or pretty simple series for the Thunder. Maybe a little bit of issues, but for the most part, I mean, Shea's going to get it done. Lakers versus Golden State, really close. Definitely going to be one of probably the most viewed matchup. It might be viewed more than the finals at this point because the fact that we have a chance of getting LeBron versus Curry this old in their careers, and it might be their final playoff match against each other, it will be insane. I think it might go to 7. I would like to see Golden State win, but at the end of the day, it really all depends on how Jimmy Butler plays. If Jimmy Butler plays like he did 2 years ago in the playoffs, dude, it's probably Golden State. But if LeBron and Luka and Austin Reeves are all averaging like above 20 points a game, it's probably going to be the Lakers. Just because I don't know if the Golden State Warriors have enough defense to match the Lakers' immense offense. So I'd probably go Lakers, but I think it would go to 7, and I think it'd be arguably the best series out of all of these so far, just because it would be so legendary to see. And finally, we have the Western Conference Finals and the Eastern Conference Finals, and we'll go back east over here. Celtics versus Cavs. Again, this is probably one of the closest series along with Golden State and the Lakers. I would probably pick, who would I pick here? Probably the Celtics. Just because the Cavs, I don't know if the Cavs defense can hold the Celtics to so many few points that the Cavs can just outscore them. So if the Cavs play a great defense, they probably win the series. I think this series goes to 6. I think it's not going to go to 7 because one of the teams is either going to get really hot and the other team's gonna get really cold, or vice versa, and then they're just gonna take them out in the sixth game. But I think it'll definitely be close at first, and then some team's gonna run away with it. I feel like by the end of it, but I would like to see the Cavs go back to the finals with this younger team. But it just makes sense for the Celtics to go back. And then Thunder versus Lakers. Imagine if we got a Lakers versus Celtics matchup. That would be legendary. Everybody wanted that last year. We got close, but we didn't get it. Thunder though wouldn't make a lot of sense, as that was what people wanted last year as well. I don't know who I would go, to be honest, because I really would want to see both of these teams match against the Celtics. Imagine if Luka and LeBron went to their first finals after only playing like 40 games together. That'd be crazy. But the Thunder, man, they do deserve it. They got a lot of really good players. They got a really good team. And I would like to see a lot of their young guys, step up for the finals. The thing is, at the end of the day, I don't know if the Thunder could step up and beat the Lakers to go to the finals. I don't know if their young guys like Chet, if, Aaron Wiggins, if, Lou Dort, if even what's his name? J-Dub. I don't know if those guys can step up. Like, I want them to, but I don't know if they can. The Thunder do have a really solid team, though. They got, Hartenstein, they got Isaiah Joe, they got Caruso, they got, like, good guys around the younger guys. But can they, hold down the fort against the Lakers, who are just going to press them with all of their offense? I don't know, and I really would want to see this as a Western Conference Finals matchup. I would probably go. I think this series could go to 7. And you know what? Give me the Lakers. Give me Luka and LeBron. I think they're gonna go crazy. And yeah, finals, Lakers versus Celtics. Who's gonna win? Is it the new duo down in LA, or is it the old duo, I guess, now, because they just won one in Boston? Great question. I really don't know. This is really a 50-50 for me. Probably the Celtics, just because they have a better team and they have people that can dominate, like a Porzingis. He can dominate in a random game, and he would probably win against a guy like Jackson Hayes on a one-on-one. And Derek White would also probably go off against like Austin Reeves. And Jason Tatum might even beat up old LeBron. So at the end of the day, Celtics probably just have a better team to go back-to-back than the Lakers do to win one, freshly new. And yeah, that's my NBA Finals prediction. Those are my playoff predictions. Hopefully I didn't make any of you guys too angry, but let's see what Aqua has now after I submitted my bracket.
First things first, going over this quickly, starting from the East since we started there. I have the Hawks end up being the 8th seed, which I don't think really matters who's the 8th seed. I see the Cavs winning their first round matchup pretty handedly. I think the Pacers have this over the Bucks. I mean, injuries aren't helping, and also I think Pacers just have a little more momentum going into the playoffs, to be honest. Pistons, I gotta believe in my own team, or what's the point, to be honest. That's the thing. Like, they show they can pull up some upsets. I mean, they beat the Cavs, they beat the Celtics, and they even were 3-1 against the Knicks in the regular season. So I gotta believe. So I'm having the Pistons win the first. Once again, I don't think it really matters who's the 7th seed in the East. I think the Celtics will win that. Going over to the West part of the first round, Thunders, once again, I don't think it really matters who comes out of the play-ins. I think will probably be the Grizzlies being number 7, which won't matter because the Thunders will win. Once again, the Nuggets are kind of in a really bad situation thanks to firing their head coach mid-season. I think it's just a terrible move for the playoffs, no matter the scenario. So I think the Clippers will be able to pull it off for that reason. Plus, as you stated, one player can't just carry everything in basketball. Even though they can mostly do it, but you can't do it completely. Lakers, Timberwolves. I don't believe in the Wolves doing much, so I guess I have to pick the Lakers. I also think the Warriors are going to get hot in the playoffs and then lose. Might as well continue in the West. I think they'll lose to the Lakers, unfortunately. for Warriors fans. Not that I particularly enjoy the Lakers all that much, to be honest. And then once again, the 1 seed coming in clutch against Clippers. I don't think Clippers are gonna make a deep of a run. And then back to the East. We did technically did this series at the end of the season, but also like this is a full strength Cavs team versus the Pacers. I don't think the Pacers will be able to keep up long term. So I have the Cavs making it to the championship game, and then the Pistons. You can call me a complete homer for this pick, and you're completely right. But they did beat them once this season, and I'm gonna believe until proven otherwise, the Pistons are winning it all. And the West, Thunders. I have them beating the Lakers. Like I said, I've seen the Thunders play this season. They just look like they're a team that's pretty much destined to make it almost all the way, if not at least to this far. But yeah, I see them winning against the Lakers. And then once again, I gotta believe in my team. Sure, are the Cavs a better team? Probably, but we beat them the once this season. I was literally at that game. They won against the Cavs. I gotta believe. And because I'm already coping this far, I might as well have Pistons winning it all. So yeah, there's my bracket. I'm being called a noob anyways, so I might as well embrace it. My team's winning it all.
I mean, I do like the Pistons. I like their team. I think I don't know if you've seen it, but I think people have been saying Devin Booker should be a Piston, which is actually a really like good. If Devin Booker goes to the Pistons and you guys don't trade away like, you trade away like Tim Hardaway or somebody, and then a bunch of draft capital or whatever, figure it out, on a trade machine or whatever, somebody. But dude, if Devin Booker and Cade and like Jaden Ivey, or you're probably gonna trade away Jaden Ivey, but if somebody like that, dude, if you can match those guys up together, dude, the Pistons actually could like be a significant playoff contender going forward. I like the Pistons roster. Like I said earlier, Malik Beasley. I mean, in my fantasy league for basketball, like bro's been carrying me. So like Malik Beasley, I love him. I love what he brings to you guys. He brings a lot of shooting. Tobias Harris, he just brings good size and good like all-around scoring because he's not great at like any particular scoring level, like mid-range three or in the paint, but he just brings good scoring. Like he'll give you 15 a game usually or around that. And yeah, I don't know. I Jaden Ivey is like very similar to Tobias Harris, just younger and quicker. And I like you guys, but I mean, at the end of the day, like Porzingis, Jalen Duren, not great. Cade, Jaylen Brown, that's pretty even, I would say. But like, when it gets to Tim Hardaway versus like Derek White, and then when it gets to who's your guys no, Cade's your point guard, right? He a point guard?
I believe so. I mean, I'm gonna probably embarrass myself as a complete casual right now.
Tobias Harris, and then Tobias Harris versus Jason Tatum is probably the worst one. That's terrible. That's a terrible matchup. So just matchup based, realistically, Pistons not looking great against the Celtics, but against the Knicks, I do like. But the Celtics, that's a little crazy. Just because you guys have like the experience. Because you guys do have like solid veterans in Hardaway and Tobias Harris and Malik Beasley. Like those are solid veterans to put around guys like Cade and Duren and Ivy. But at the end of the day, like they're just not good enough to face against just better players and Tatum, Brown, and Holiday and all that.
Also, you know how funny it would be to see the Pistons go from losing nearly 30 games straight one season to winning it all? That would be the funniest storyline ever.
Yeah, no, I mean that. I think that would probably be the first time in sports history that would happen.
I mean, they're already the first team to ever triple their win total in NBA history. So, why not? Let's just see something really dumb.
Yeah. I think if the Pistons got the Cavs, maybe they could throw something at the Cavs that they haven't seen, but the Celtics, Joe Mazzulla is going to have those boys ready, and they're probably going to destroy you guys.
But I mean, I'm not arguing like logistically that the Pistons should win, right? Because obviously defending champs, then they're obviously higher seed for a reason, but it could happen.
I think give the Pistons like 2.5. No, give them like maybe a year. I don't know if I say a year, I feel like that's like a little crazy. But like give them like 2 years. They're probably if their GM is smart, they probably make moves to put themselves in position to be like a top 3 seed and like, a borderline contender finals, potential finals candidate. So I would say you guys are like an off season or two away from being an actual contender. So I would say you guys should
No,
be
that's
excited.
fair. I would agree with you. Winning it now would be too early based on logistics and like roster and everything. But like I said, I gotta believe in my team until I allowed to anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, and also I think over in the West, I think the Warriors are kind of the Pistons of the West, I guess, if you want to say that. It's more like the Pistons or the Warriors of the East, but the Warriors, I mean, bro, they could make it to the conference finals realistically, but the Lakers matchup just I don't know. I mean, who's guarding LeBron? Like, I'm trying to think. I guess Draymond would guard LeBron. Luka would be guarded by Jimmy. Austin Reeves, who's guarding him? Buddy Hield or whoever. No, not Buddy. It'd be like Pajemski. So it's actually one of the better matchups. Like it's definitely better than the Timberwolves against the Lakers. But
Yep.
in a 7-game series, those matchups for the Warriors are gonna get really hard. And the Warriors are going to get beaten up, I feel like, over a 7-game series against the Lakers. That's why I choose the Lakers. If the Warriors were younger and they had if they actually had like a big man, I would probably choose the Warriors. But they just don't. They don't have somebody that can dominate against Jackson Hayes that I want. Because like they have Looney, they have Trace Jackson Davis, who's a bench player, and Quentin Post, who's also like a bench player, and they don't even really play the 5. They have Draymond playing the 5 a lot of the time, so they don't really even have a big man. They just have a bunch of tall guys coming off the bench because Draymond's playing the 5 most of the time. So it's not looking great for the Warriors, but I'll believe in the Warriors for a little bit. But overall, I would say Thunder, Lakers, Cavs, Celtics are the only 4 teams that realistically should win. Make sure to join our Discord server as always. Link in the description for daily polls, sports talks, arguments, whatever discussions you want to have with fellow sports fans. It'll be all in the Discord server, link down below. Make sure to join it if you haven't already. Make sure to comment down below who you think the finals matchup is going to be, or just give us, your favorite upset or whatever of the playoffs that you think is going to happen. And also, again, make sure to give us your predictions for tonight's play-in games, because looks like they're going to be pretty exciting. Anyways, that's going to do it for this video. We will see you guys later this week. Peace out.
Bye.